aware? I guess you weren't aware that maybe he had some abuse in his past.
I was not aware at the time. I was not aware. I knew that there had been a very turbulent relationship with his children's mother, and that they had been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with having children and they break up. They have children and they break up. They'd have children and they break up. And I never put that together because his story was always about her and how crazy she was, and on and on. And it's the same thing that's happening to me. That's the same story that's being told about me over and over and over again.
Do you know if there was a history of DV, domestic violence, in their relationship?
Yes, I found out when our violence happened, because this person lived out of state, was not from my hometown. I did not do the background check that I have. Lots of people joke about it here in our city, that when they meet somebody, the first thing they do is they go to the clerk of court's website and do a name check, because you want to know. Well, it's the way that people are dating now. And I had done that because I had been divorced, a couple times now. So I had been doing that, but I did not think to do that for the city in which this person lived. I didn't think. I just didn't know, because it's a very big metropolitan area. So there's lots of different little places, different counties within this state that you would have to be aware of. So it wasn't until I'd had a hometown visit after we were married that I started to gather up where all the places were that you had lived. So when this happened to me, I went online to look it up, and there was a domestic violence charge in every single county that this person lived in. There was a domestic violence charge in every single county that this person had lived in.
How far into your relationship with him were you at this point?
3 years. 3 years into the relationship when the abuse happened. And it was about a year and a half, almost 2 years of being married at that point. But I was outdone, and it was more than one woman that the abuse had happened with. So I was very devastated, because I felt like you already knew who you were as an individual. You didn't deserve to have me in your life, and you already know who you were. You know that when you meet somebody who you are. But I feel like it was the ultimate deception for me. And I was being made to feel like I caused all of this, because I would come and I would go and I would come and I would go. But he never has taken ownership for his part of any of it. It is all me. I'm crazy. I don't know how to be in relationship. These are the things that were being said to me. There were lots of things after the abuse happened that I started to see. And what's amazing is that the night that I was abused, we had a really bad argument, and I called him a name. And when I called him a name, he likes to use that as the excuse for why I got hit. But even if you tell this person that you hit me, I didn't hit you. I did not hit you. I pushed you.
I've been there. They never accept responsibility for their part in it, and then it always turns around and they make it our fault. So I'm
right. But a push is a hit to me. If you put your hands on me, period, you hit me. I don't care if you want to call it a push. And not only did you push me into a wall, but you grabbed me by the back of my neck. You threw me on the floor. Then as I'm trying to get outside, you throw me out. I'm trying to get out of the house by gathering up a robe or let me get some shoes or something, but I'm thrown outside in my underwear, humiliated in an apartment complex, begging you to let me back in. I get back in, and then I'm choked and thrown on the ground again. Denies all of that except for pushing me the one time. So I said, maybe you blacked out. I don't know what happened, but you did everything that I'm telling you. And the saddest part for me about the night that I was abused was when the police came, and this man put on all of his charm and all of his finesse and told them that nothing had happened and that I was merely angry because he had stayed out all night long. He got home at 6:30 in the morning, and I was very angry as a wife, and I confronted him. But I had all of my stuff packed and was at the door. And the reason that I had all of my stuff packed and ready to go, Chris, is because he had disappeared once before all night long, and I found out that he was abusing drugs. And that was 2 months into the marriage, and I should have left then and never went back. But I was in a place where I thought I could help him, I could save him, and I could make things right. And that was one of the first mistakes. 2 months into our marriage, when he disappeared, he was out doing drugs and would not admit that. He had told the people that he called wanting help. But then after that happened, he lied and told people, I don't have a drug problem. Never went to treatment, never got help. And
So he told people that he did drugs or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then even after the fact, after he's admitted it, he's denying it.
Yes. He denies it. He denies that that never happened. It's not to the extreme that people say that it happened, but you told everybody what was going on. And so I stayed away that time. When he got home, all of my things were packed. Well, when he came home after the drug abuse, I was gone. I moved out. And about 2 weeks later, the begging starts back. Please, I love you. I need you. And I loved him. I had only been married for 2 months. And I went back. And this time, when he stayed out all night long, I didn't know what happened. I just know that I don't want to live like this. You are a married man, and if I'm calling you on your cell phone from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, no answer, I don't know what's happened to you. My mind goes immediately to you're out getting high again, because even if you're out with your friends, you could still call your wife and give me some idea of where you are. But again, I was made to feel like I was jealous. I was hating on him and his friends. I don't want him to go out. I don't want him to do anything. You don't want me. And that is not true. And I have to say to myself, I'm a college educated woman. I am very rational. I know that I'm not making this stuff up in my head, but he is making me feel like I am absolutely psychotic. And so the night that the abuse happened, all of my things I packed again. And when he walked in, that's what started the argument. Oh my God, here we go again. What are you doing? And so we start arguing. He tells me to shut up and be quiet. He doesn't want to talk to me. But then my mouth gets going. And I called him a name, and that's when the abuse happened. And it was almost like he wanted me to feel like if you would have just shut up, you wouldn't have gotten hit.